Hey guys, it's Kylie. Welcome if you're new with us. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you've been here before, that you know that this kind of sit down content is kind of rare for me. I don't do it a whole lot, but I figured a little change of pace today. Today I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a deep dive into solo dating. So I am the kind of person, I go on a lot of adventures. So last week's video was a New York vlog. I went to New York, went to Six Flags, and every time I go anywhere, I go alone. I have been doing this thing called solo dating for about the last 6 months, I'd say. The definition of solo dating, according to Google, is an occasion to do something nice just for you and do it consciously alone. Being consciously alone, I think sometimes can be the hardest part in terms of, I know I'm a big dissociator, so I will just get stuck in my mind and forget that I'm supposed to be alone in the present moment. But solo dating is a very useful tool. My whole life, I've never really been alone. I have 2 other siblings, and I have a dad who's really always been there for me my entire life. So I've really never been alone. And I just moved out into my first apartment almost a year ago now. In October it will be a year, and so this is the first time that I really had to sit down, reflect, and just kind of be alone. Solo dating for me is usually things like bookstores, amusement parks. I like cafes. Things that either I love to do and that I feel comfortable, like that I can actually do alone. Like, it's hard to like go mini golfing by yourself. Like, I can't really do stuff like that just because it's very hard to do alone. I do tend to avoid restaurants. I am recovering from binge eating disorder, which is something I've talked a little bit about, but so I try not to eat out a lot. So I avoid restaurants. It's kind of not in my forte. Solo dating for me kind of just means to sit down, reflect on where I am currently, but also to just sit there and live in the present moment. And I think that's the hardest part, is like sometimes I want to bring a book and just read, and that could be really nice, especially if I spent the whole day with myself. But sometimes I really just need to like sit there in a cafe and just like sip on some hot chocolate and just take a moment to realize where I truly am. Because realistically, I am not ever going to be in the same exact moment ever again. It's gone. That moment is over. O-V-E-R, over. I just find that solo dating has, as someone who's only been doing it for like the last 6 months, I think for me, it has truly started to teach me how to appreciate myself. And that's along with like all the other work I do to work on myself. I've never loved myself as much as I do in this current moment. And I love myself. And that's something that has taken a long time to get to even where I am now. And where I am now is not like the best I could ever be. Like, I can love myself all the way more. And I will. And whether I change right now or I don't, doesn't matter. Because I love me. But I also am not a content person. I just want to make the most out of my life. And I will. And in solo dating gives me that time, that space, the freedom to just sit there and reflect. And yes, I have an entire apartment to myself, and I could spend all that time with myself here. But sometimes being cooped up in the house can be a lot. So that's when I like to do things. I did go to this really beautiful butterfly retreat place. I will link it in the description, but it is on my channel. Solo dating, for me, the benefits that I've gotten have just been phenomenal. It is something that just boosts your confidence overall. If it's something you do more often, boom, you get more confident in it. It helps grow your confidence. It just really helps grow my mental stability. And I say that in a way coming from someone who, even as a very young child, felt like I could never be alone. Like I just always had to have somebody else with me, which is funny because around peers, I feel like I try to lead as best as I can, but I feel like I need people. So it's been something that I'm trying to get over, and something that I've spent my whole life trying to get over. So in solo dating and doing these small little practices, you know, once a week, once a month, I try to at least go on a solo date once a month. Sometimes, some months I go on like 2 or 3 that month. Like, just kind of all depends. I kind of just listen to what my body and listen to my intuition and see what I need in that present moment. I think the benefits of solo dating are extremely powerful, especially from a spiritual standpoint. I'm very spiritual. I think holistic would be the right word. Healer. Healy. It's just a very healing thing to do. And it puts you in the most beautiful space. One of the best spaces I've ever been in this point of my life. If solo dating is something that makes you nervous because you're a solo female, as long as you feel safe with yourself, you are going to be okay. I don't want to, obviously be careful. I personally am a person who feels very safe with myself, so nothing kind of bothers me in terms of my own human safety. I also read this really good book called The Gift of Fear, and it kind of taught me that as long as I trust my intuition and just kind of listen for the real fear I feel in my life, I will be fine. And that's personally how I choose to live my life, so please do whatever feels right and just listen to your body. At the end of the day, listening to your body, listening to what you need, and just going from there. Just trust yourself. That is honestly the best advice I could give currently, is trust who you are and trust where you are going to go. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's different than what I usually do, but I was ready to switch it up. I love you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye.